Tonight, law enforcement is investigating a suspicious death after a male body is found in Eureka. Plus, 2 more suspects have been taken into custody that were associated with an arson fire earlier this week. Redwood News at 6 starts now.
The spirit of the North Coast. This is Redwood News at 6.
Thank you for joining us on this Friday evening. I'm Dan Romano. Now, this time of year is often called the time for giving. And today, Arcata Fire got some friendly help from the Big K with their Toys for Tots campaign. Leon Purvis was at the McKinleyville station for the Christmas magic and joins us in studio with more. Leon, how was it up there?
Dan, Santa is going to get some help this Christmas after Kmart's donation of $10,000 in toys for Arcata Fire's Toy for Tots drive. They will go all to local kids in need. Staff from Kmart told Redwood News they went around the store and filled up 20 shopping carts full of Christmas joy for girls and boys. They tried to keep the cost $30 per toy. Arcata Fire is excited to gather all the toys they've collected from everyone this holiday season.
We want to give as many toys as we can to the children in need in our community. So with the help of Kmart, we're able to give as many toys as possible.
To step up with Arcata Fire, great community, being a community store, to partner with them and to get the big donation for Toys for Tots is something we look forward to, something we're proud of.
It's all about sending a message of hope at Christmas time to some of the most neediest children are out there, to give them the same joy of Christmas that you and I had growing up when we were kids.
And Dan, Arcata Fire has a little competition going on with Humboldt Bay Fire to see who could donate the most toys. So you can still go to either location to give a donation. Reporting in studio, Leon Purvis, Redwood News. Dan, back to you.
Great stuff, Leon. Well, it's been a windy day, and today's gusty winds made for a busy day for Humboldt fire crews. Since 6:30 this morning, fire crews responded to 9 down poles within 4 hours. Battalion Chief Kent Holbert says throughout the county, there were at least 20 other service calls from Petrolia all the way up to Oric. The main cause, strong winds pushing against the wooden poles.
Yeah, anytime you get, wind over 30 miles an hour, you're stressing the power lines, and we're going to find the weak spots on them. So, it's fairly common. Call 911 if you see, a hazard, if you're seeing sparks coming out of it. Go ahead and notify PG&E if you have the ability to do so. But we don't want you approaching the power line.
Now, the battalion chief also wants the public to be cautious of flooding. He warns moving water in the road can be especially dangerous. So follow the adage, turn around, don't drown. And that's the topic of tonight's Redwood News poll question. Were you impacted by today's storm? To vote, go to Redwood News website, KIM-TV.com. Click on your answer, and we'll have the results at 11. Now, as for last night's question, would you like to pursue a career in law enforcement? Only 38% of you said yes. The other 62% of you, they said no. Now, speaking of today's storm, we now head over to meteorologist Eric McCormick. Hey, Eric, what'd you think about the rain today?
Hey, Dan, it was an active weather day across the North Coast. Those gusty winds you talked about were nothing to mess with. Gusts between 40, 50, and 60 miles an hour today across the North Coast. 61 miles an hour in Crescent City, 44 here in Eureka, 56 miles an hour reported at the airport down in Fortuna earlier this afternoon as that storm system rolled through. The heaviest rain we saw has now shifted east, but we're left with some showers out there around the North Coast tonight. So take the rain jacket and umbrella if you head out and about for dinner plans or whatever else you may have in store. We've got a calmer Saturday in store before our next rain system is in for Sunday. I'm timing all of that out for you in just a couple of minutes, Dan.
Good stuff, Eric. I'll be looking forward to it, personally. Now, you might remember we told you about an arrest associated with an arson fire at a structure in Old Town earlier this week. Now, 2 more suspects have been taken into custody. They are 29-year-old Cassandra Lee Flower and 37-year-old Charles Zane Riley. Both were booked into the Humboldt County Jail for arson and are held on $75,000 bail. Now, a crime of arson can have a maximum sentence of 8 years in state prison. And detectives will continue to work with the Humboldt Bay Fire to determine if the suspects were involved in any other fires in Old Town. Now, law enforcement is hoping to get the public's assistance in locating 2 other people who stole a package from a Eureka residence. On Wednesday, a package was taken from the location in the area of Harris and K Streets. The victim was able to provide video of the suspects to Eureka police. They are 44-year-old Amy Elizabeth Cardoza and 37-year-old Jarrell Wilkinson. Officials say they are driving a 2005 blue Toyota 4Runner. Now, the vehicle has a California license plate of 5LXV067. Anyone with information is asked to call the Eureka Police Department. And law enforcement is investigating a suspicious death after a male body is found in North Eureka. Police were called to the intersection of 5th and V Street just after 8 this morning. And when they arrived, they located a deceased man in the foliage just south of Highway 101. The fatal is being declared a hit-and-run crash where the victim was struck by the front passenger side of the vehicle. There is no suspect at this time. However, the suspect's vehicle, possibly a dark-colored SUV manufactured in the 2000s. The identity of the deceased is not being released until the next of kin is notified, and anyone with information is also asked to call the EPD. Well, the 2018 general municipal election results are in, and that means new faces are appointed to the Eureka City Council. Before the council's regular City Hall meeting takes place, a special meeting will be held December 18th at 5 p.m. There, Susan Seaman will be sworn in as the new mayor of Eureka, replacing Frank Yeager. And newcomer Leslie Castellano will also take the oath and begin her role as the council member for Ward 1. Natalie Arroyo will now serve as Ward 3's council member, and Ward 5 will be represented by Kim Burgell. On the agenda for Council's regular meeting, Council will look to continue cannabis track and trace services and a potential $250,000 project for pedestrian crossing improvements. Now, moving along, we're bringing attention to a road closure in Rio Dell. Wildwood Avenue remains closed in both directions. The vehicles and pedestrians just north of Davis Street to a leaning light pole. They hope to have those repairs done and the road reopened by 5 p.m. Saturday. The city is asking to avoid the area and use detours. And to the north, Trinidad City Council chooses a new mayor after the long-awaited election results came in. The newly elected council said goodbye to Susan Rotwine Wednesday night as Steve Ladwig took over for the mayor role. Jack West was also selected as a new mayor pro tem. Both of their terms expire in 2020. Also during the meeting, city manager Dan Berman's contract was extended an extra 30 days. He was supposed to be finished mid-December, but council agreed to let him stay on to help with the transition of council and other town matters as they continue their search for a new city manager. And the Humboldt County Department of Health and Human Services is seeking 4 new members to serve on the Behavioral Health Board. The organization is looking for passionate individuals who have experienced the local mental health system and wish to improve it. It's been proven that 1 out of 4 people will experience substance abuse and mental health issues at some point in their life, which is why each service the county provides needs multiple perspectives on how they can improve it. The board meets at Pro Building on F Street every 3rd Thursday each month. The door is open for anyone interested in improving the local mental health system. Now, coming up after the break.
Our board is supposed to be 50% folks either are dealing with those challenges themselves or family members of those folks. And then the other 50% can be anybody in the community that can bring a perspective on those diverse issues. So we're really looking for a diverse board, and we could use people.
Now, coming up after the break, pin a badge on this guy. There's a new officer on the beat for the Eureka Police Department after graduating from the Basic Academy. Find out who after this. Welcome back, my friends. Eureka Police Department gets a new officer, Cameron Hooks. The EPD are thrilled to have the new officer. Hooks graduated yesterday from the 122nd Basic Law Enforcement Academy at the College of the Redwoods. Family and friends gathered at the CR Theater to witness a long-awaited celebration. And during the ceremony, awards were given out for a variety of categories. The next basic law enforcement class at CR starts in January. Now, we all know your imagination can be a special gift, and a local group has turned its imagination into a spellbinding drama. Our Dave Silverbrand brings us more.
Oh no, Martians invading the Earth. I hope it's not real.
You want to turn me into spaghetti? It's just something I love to do.
Yeah.
It's fun, it's different.
A story for the world to see, and created in an unlikely place.
My friends are in the video class. We do videos.
It's just something I love to do. It's an HD Sony little camera.
You start with whatever's on your mind,
Yeah, like
and you make the story
ideas.
from what's on your mind.
Yeah. And then from there, it's finding the ideas for the props and stuff like that.
And it looks like a building, something like you would see in space or something. It's just a green little thing that goes over you and makes you look all like mossy and like a sea monster. Look at these. I look good, people, don't ya?
It's okay to be a little dorky?
Uh-huh. Well, look at you.
What do you think?
They look good on ya.
They teach that imagination is a celebration, whatever its form.
I mean, and I can't wait for people to laugh, or people to cry, or people go, oh my God, that was such an awesome scene. I can't wait to see more from that person who made the video.
The result, joyful stories, as limitless as the universe.
And they have other movies on their YouTube channel as well. Hands-on video workshop too. They just make you smile. Great stuff there. Well, shifting gears, the California Public Utilities Commission voted unanimously to write new rules which would call for companies like PG&E to conduct power shutdowns when the fire risk is high. Now, this comes in response to 2 years in a row in which the state suffered devastating, damaging wildfires. Some of those fires were likely sparked by electric utility equipment, and proponents of the idea say it's a cheap and easy way for the utilities to avoid causing wildfires. But opponents of such a plan argue that power shutoffs are not just inconvenient for people, but can be dangerous as well. Some people need power for medical devices such as breathing machines and dialysis equipment. And officials covered California are urging consumers to sign up for the coverage by December 15th deadline in order to secure insurance beginning January 1st. The deadline is pressing now as the federal government prepares to do away with the Obama-era individual mandate. The rule stuck those without insurance with a hefty tax in order to lower the number of uninsured in the country. Legislative leaders and health care advocates for the rate of uninsured in California will spike beyond the current 7% beginning in January. Some continue to push for a similar mandate at the state level. Now we're going to head over to meteorologist Eric McCormick. Eric, what's up with this rain, bud?
Hey, Dan, we've got a little break after a busy day today, but rain is back for the second half of our weekend. I'll time it out for you right after the break.
In the NorCal Regionals to Menlo Atherton this past weekend. That's your look at sports, and obviously coming up later at 11, we'll have the highlights from high school basketball and CR basketball. So a lot of stuff going on tonight.
That's good stuff. I'll be really looking forward to that. Coming up next, a new baby orangutan is born at a zoo in Germany. Yeah, find out more after this. Now, we're not going to monkey around with this last story. That's because a zoo in Germany introduced its newest addition to the world yesterday. Take a look at this baby girl orangutan with her mom. Her name is Kabu, and she was just born at a zoo in Cologne. Now, that name is a hybrid of her parents, Kajunga and Booty. That's right, Booty. Now, orangutans are on the verge of extinction because their native rainforest habitat is being destroyed for palm oil. And the orangutan homeland the original homeland for orangutans can be found in Sumatra and Borneo. But this little girl, the first orangutan born in the zoo in 4 years. That's good stuff there. Absolutely. Take it easy tonight. We'll see you at 11.